Good morning, class 10. Today we will take up the chapter The Assertive Nationalist Objectives and Methods. The period between 1905 and 1914 saw the rise of assertive nationalism in the freedom struggle. The assertive nationalists had Swaraj as their objective, but their demands were stated more aggressively. The assertives believed in a strong demand for more vigorous political action, and they were defined against the British. The main objective of the assertives was to gain total independence of India. They sought to derive strength and power from the masses. They used self-reliance and self-sacrifice, suffering and hardships for achieving their aim. The assertives proposed three methods for attaining independence: Swadeshi, boycott, and national education. The main objective of the assertive nationalists was the immediate attainment of Swaraj. This means complete independence and not just self-government. The main focus of the assertive nationalists was to get a larger share for Indians in the administration of their country and to end Britain's economic exploitation of India. They adopted the policy of non-cooperation and resistance to unjust acts of the British government. They gave new slogans to the national movement like non-cooperation, passive resistance, mass agitation, etc. Swadeshi means producing necessary items in one's own country and using them for one's use without being dependent on imported goods. The Swadeshi idea was popularized by occasional bonfires of foreign cloth, salt, and sugar. Swadeshi and boycott are two sides of the same coin. Tilak had said, when you accept Swadeshi, you must boycott foreign goods. Economic boycott of foreign goods and use of Swadeshi was designed to encourage Indian industries and provide the people with more opportunities for unemployment. It also proved as a most effective weapon for harming British interest in India. National education. A national scheme of education was planned which was to replace that of government-controlled universities and colleges. The assertive nationalists tried to enlist the students in their service. When the British government threatened to take disciplinary action against the students, the national leaders advocated national universities that were free from government control. A large number of national schools were established in East Bengal. Bengal National College was set up at Kolkata and the Pachayappa National College at Chennai. In Punjab, the DAV movement made considerable effort in spreading education through various schools and colleges. Efforts were also made to give education a national orientation in the vernacular languages. Now, students, in the last class, we had done the chapter of early nationalists. Now, let us compare the objectives and methods of the early nationalists and the assertive nationalists. The early nationalists wanted to achieve self-government. They believed in constitutional methods and worked within the framework of the law. They held good position under the British government. They had faith in the British sense of justice. They received their support from the intellectuals and they were inspired by the ideas of Western philosophers. Now let us take up the assertives. The assertives aimed at Swaraj. They were assertive in their approach. They denounced the British rule and defied it. They rejected British rule and held it responsible for poverty of the Indian people. They drew their support from the masses. They also drew their inspiration from India's past. The main leaders of the assertives were Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal. Let us first take up Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai was popularly known as Punjab Keshari or Sher-e Punjab. He was an eminent lawyer, a prolific writer, enlightened educator, social reformer, and a staunch fighter against the British rule. He started a monthly magazine, Young India. He was associated with the Arya Samaj movement and was instrumental in the expansion of the DAV College at Lahore in 1886. He opened orphanages, hospitals, and schools. He set up servants of People's Society for the welfare of the downtrodden and outcast. In 1928, while leading a procession at Lahore against the Simon Commission, he was injured in a lathi charge. He succumbed to his injuries a month later in November 1928. Now let us see the contribution of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the father of the assertive nationalism. He played a leading role in popularizing the cult of patriotism and making the Congress movement broad-based. Tilak was born in a Maratha family at Ratnagiri in Maharashtra. His famous slogan, "Swaraj is my birthright and I will have it," went on to become the battle cry of the aggressive nationalist. In 1893, Tilak started using the traditional religious Ganapati festival to propagate nationalist ideas through songs and speeches. He glorified Shivaji and started the Shivaji festival to encourage young Maharashtrians. He started two newspapers, that is Maratha and the Keshari, which soon became the mouthpiece of his ideas. Tilak set up a Home Rule League at Pune in 1916 to attain self-government within the British Empire. His selfless patriotism, strong determination, and courage aroused the masses against the British. Let us now discuss the contribution of Bipin Chandra Pal. Born in Sylhet, now a part of Bangladesh, in the year 1858, Bipin Chandra Pal is known as the father of the revolutionary thought in India. He started his political career as a social reformer attached to the Brahmo Samaj. He became the editor of New India and spread the message of boycott and Swadeshi to eradicate poverty and unemployment. He was also an excellent orator. He wanted national education to be the basis of the freedom movement. Bipin Chandra Pal wanted to remove social and economic evils from the society, and thus he opposed the caste system and advocated widow remarriage. He believed that the most effective way of elevating the position of women was by educating them. He also stressed the need to develop indigenous industries in the country. To establish equality in society, he wanted to tax the rich more heavily than the poor. He demanded 48 hours of work in a week and an increase in the wages. He died in 1932. Now students, please take down a question which will be very helpful for the two chapters, the first chapter and this chapter, that is the early nationalist and the assertives. Differentiate between the early nationalist and the assertive nationalist in their objectives and methods. Thank you.